the peak of gaming, back in the day when desktops were glorified and hard to more subtle and less adapted to the evolving technology. I was only 8. I had a tough childhood given the trauma of losing a close bond, my parents' divorce, and all this added to the perfect cherry on top. The digital books with fancy games, the time I always looked forward to back in school days, the IT period, so I could learn more about CorelDRAW and play games because I never had the privilege of getting my own desktop until I was 10. But it was too late. I had evolved from my innocence liking to despising myself. I was 8 years old. My grandma wanted to get something from the next door neighbor, so she dragged me along with her. I was 8. She was vibrantly chatting with the next door grandma around the bar. I went to the grandkids' room like I did whenever I got the chance to play pinball. How is it? The colors moving, adrenaline rushing. I can never say that word right. Trying to score, trying not to let the ball slip through the batting cones. I was 8. He was loving, honest, beautiful, strong kid, and now he's an adult. He was 13. I was 8. I was 8. I jumped on his lap and begged him to open the pinball game for me. I can imagine the rest if you want to, but would you dare? I wore a fluorescent green dress that day and he touched me. His hand slid to where it was never supposed to go. Down the hatchet and strange motions. I brushed his hand away, but he kept persuading me to play or having the time of his life touching me. He moved me to the bed and asked me to promise not to tell anyone about it. I was only 8. He was my first kiss. I was only 8. He kissed me so hard that it started like Disney romances. He peeled my innocence with his lips, but thankfully he could not go very far or dive deep, if that's the word. He just touched and kissed. I mean, that's not a big deal, isn't it? I didn't know what it was or how it mattered till I was 14. Reproductively classes, sexual assault, full stop. I felt the blood rushing to my toes, and that was when I had my first panic attack. Those words echoed. It had a label that I didn't know when I was only 8. I was easy access for him to date. Now he lives next door with a woman he is married to. And I started stripping off my femininity to be stronger, able better, and to be secure. I was only 8. I needed a way. I generally am vocal in my opinion. I defend if needed, but I was only 8. It said that we should keep our words, exceptions made. Of course, I was only 8 and I dutifully kept my promise. I promise to let it haunt me to the accepted hearing. I promise to let it haunt my relationships. Did I forgive? But I never voiced it to him. Fear lingers in shadows, howling waves of anxiety, waves of heat as I struggle to stand up. I have forgotten everything. At least that's what I thought. But I forgave him. I promise I have. To this day, I have kept and broken many words. I have strived to heal and strengthen myself, but Amidst the progress, I still remember I was only bloody 8. I kept a promise. I should never have kept that promise to unharmonious dignity and to save face. I was obedient and only 8. To the girls who are living, growing, striving and thriving, live well. Live well so you would be less traumatized but stronger with less. And God never wanted you to go through this. It's the enemy's work and sins of the world. Don't make the same mistake of keeping your voice unheard, silent and broken. Don't let it rot to years of silence. Don't let it rot to a depression. Don't let anyone touch you the wrong way, my darlings. Consent is vital. Your consent counts. Everything that involves you saying no does not make you a bad person. It does not make you uptight. It is you standing up to yourself in the society where saving face is prioritized over mental trauma. No matter who calls you serious, dramatic, uptight, overreacting. If what he or she does to you discomforts you, say no. Saying no is saying yes to your heart, your spirit. Let them anger you. Let them hate you. Let them speak ill of you. For they try to find opportunities to demonically attack the innocent. But you are no more innocent. Do in the middle. Be strong, be innocent, be sensitive. But never, never shut up. Open and scream. If you must, let them know who you are. Don't let that touch get to you. And if it did, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you went through it. I'm sorry. I hate it that we have to go through this for their happiness, their pleasure, their comfort. I'm sorry this world has objectified us. But, darling, staying silent is not the answer. It just helps them to keep going. Voice it. Voice its loud voice. It's hard. Love thy neighbor, but love it not to tamper with what is rightfully yours, until you claim to show yourself physically and mentally with another with consent. Your voice matters. Speak. Speak. Let the world label you. Normalizing assault is never okay. It never was. But I was only 8 and you probably were small too. I'm sorry, my darling. Get help if it troubles you, still seek to. Forgive them if your heart wants to release the burden. But let no one affect you that way. That way, the way that colleague of yours tries to touch you, brush his arm against you. The passenger tries to touch your shoulder. The individual tries to rub his elbow on your skin in the bus, the public transport. They are not going to hear silence, but words. Words of power, freedom. Voice it, voice it, voice it. Even if it is your college friend, divinities, even if it is your uni friend, even if it's your best friend. It is never the fault of clothing, fault of skin. No skin is blessed from the heavens, are not meant to be advantaged by ghoulish men and women who are looking to prey and consume fear. Connection does not define consent. Consent is permission that you provide from your own mouth speak. He'll voice it to sound the alarm, to regulate the percentage, the statistic, the people over glorify. Your voice helps, though the glorify statistics. Voice tells you strain it, voice to the strain it, voiced strain. But let not someone's unconsidered actions train your mind and heart. And if it did, force it till they make sure that they will. If it did, force it till they make sure to never do that ever again.